Welcome to School Talk. I'm Nadja Varney, your host. Recently, a newspaper article, a headline in bold print said, "Technology plus education equals success." Well, the world of education is changing, but what is really going on with technology in our schools, which are supported by our taxes? Well, today I am delighted. It's a privilege and a personal joy to invite my guest, Mr. Tom Thibodeau. He is at the New England Institute of Technology. At this point, he is the assistant provost. Welcome, Tom Thibodeau.
It's a pleasure to be here.
My old friend.
Indeed.
So many years ago, I remember you actually helped keep School Talk going because you put together our earlier Open. And it was on for, I don't know, 15 years or more. So thank you again.
You're entirely welcome.
Well, Tom, you've been enmeshed in technology at almost every level. In fact, I noticed, you've taught as a professor, you were the director of the Center for Distributed Learning, etc. And then you're connected to some kind of a program I'm not familiar with. It's called OCEAN, a New England Faculty Development Consortium.
Yep, two different things.
Oh, they're two different
Two different
things.
Yes.
So,
OCEAN is the Ocean State Higher Education Advanced Network. It's
Okay.
the internet provider for all the schools, colleges, libraries, hospitals, and municipal governments in the state of Rhode Island. And I happen to be on the board of directors of that. That's a relatively new position for me there. But the goal there is to provide the best possible backbone network for the schools and colleges and hospitals to use to provide the basis of the technology that we will use in the schools. And then the New England Faculty Development Consortium is a consortium of faculty from around New England that gather twice a year at conferences to basically improve the state of teaching and learning at the college level.
and that's not just Rhode Island.
No, that's the entire New England. Yes.
And is that just private or public schools?
Everybody. No,
Oh,
we
all
take
welcome.
anybody. All are welcome. That's right.
Well, because you're all looking to improve teaching and learning.
Everybody has to be.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what keeps us going. But, actually, I wonder how you became so interested, especially technology in the classroom. Some people like to just go do technological things on the computer. How did you get interested in this?
Well, I guess the real truth is that I'm a nerd and a geek, and I like technology. I've always been, mechanically inclined, and I went to college for my first degree to become an English teacher, and decided after my student teaching to go into broadcasting. And broadcasting is a very technological industry, and I became a videographer and a video editor and eventually a video engineer for an independent video production company. And it was a very busy company, so I got to do an awful lot of very, very different things. And in the end, we were using some very high-end equipment, and it was really great. But at the time, I also had some young kids, and that's a pretty hard life with a lot of hours. So I got an opportunity to start teaching, and I really liked that, and eventually switched over to full-time teaching. And when you're teaching in a technology, especially video technology, you need to bring that into the classroom. And even as early as 1990, that was not an easy thing to do. You had to get a TV on a rolling stand with a VCR.
Oh, I remember those
plug them
days.
in and hope
I
for
was
the best,
there.
right? And at that point in
Yeah.
time, the best you could probably do was a 24-inch, huge monitor, which the back rows couldn't see at all.
Yeah.
So that really started the process of, well, how do we make this better? And it continues today, and the technology gets better and better, but it continues.
Well, we're very grateful because I know that what you're doing at New England Institute of Technology, am I saying that correctly? New England Institute of Technology. You mentioned the 1990s. Well, I was looking at some statistics from the National Center for Educational Statistics back to just 2009, and they said 97% had computers in the
Yep,
school,
yep.
93% had access to the internet. Well, now we're in 2014, 15, soon. We have iPods and whiteboards and tablets, but I want to know, how widely is this technology really becoming part of schools? Are most schools actually ready to integrate the technology with their curriculum?
I think the fair answer would be no. because they're just now starting to get initiatives to go what they usually call a one-on-one initiative, where every student will get typically a Google Chrome or an iPad, some less expensive computer technology in their hands for them to use constantly.
At home as well?
At home as well as at school.
Wow.
The reality is that, we have our students for a very, very short amount of time. Whether it's in the elementary where we might have them for 6, maybe 7 hours a day. High school still follows the same schedule. College, we might have the students in 4 or 5 classes for 18 to 20 hours a week. It's not enough. We need to have a system which basically opens up the classroom so that we can have the students interact with the content and the topics of each class on a wider basis at home, wherever they're able to do that. The other reality is that if you happen to have a class that meets at 7:45 in the morning, that might not be the individual student's best learning moment.
I understand.
They might be tired,
There's research on that. They're all sleep
saying,
deprived.
yes, they should start much later. But the reality is the schools run, as much as they can to make it the most efficient use of the facilities and the time. So there will be times when students are going to be in class when maybe they don't want to be. And we want to be able to offer them the option of when that time is, whether it's, before they go to bed, after they get their kids to sleep or after their work shift, that they have the option to go online to access the exact same resources that they had in class and do the exercises and the studying that they need to do.
This is a much broader approach than what I think most people who hear, like that headline, technology plus education. I think most people think, oh, they're bringing computers into the classroom.
Right.
But I understand what you're saying, and in fact, I'm going to ask you to give us some examples. I was reading a Scholastic article called Using Technology in the Early Childhood Classroom. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because this Dr. Bruce Perry, he's an internationally recognized authority on brain development as well as children in crisis. And I just want to give you a small quote. He said, "Modern technologies are very powerful because they rely on one of the most powerful genetic biases we have, the preference for visually presented information. The human brain has a tremendous bias for visually presented information." And then, of course, he decries how so much of it's passive with TV, and is hoping that even with young children, they would be more interactive and also working with people. So I'm going to ask you now, would you give us an example, if you'd like to start with high school or elementary school, about something that actually happens not only at New England Tech, but because I know you're aware of what's going on in the schools.
Yeah.
Would you want to take elementary or high school?
Well, my wife happens to be a 5th grade teacher.
Oh,
and,
by the way, did she ever finish writing her book? I don't know if she finished it, a spelling book, I think.
That's a very good question. She did complete an illustrated storybook for students
wonderful.
called The Bumblebee or The Bubblebee. So that must have been The Bubblebee.
The Bubblebee. Well, we
That's
might as well
right.
give it a little plug. Anybody who's interested in education, reading to your children.
That's right.
But so you're going into elementary school.
That's right. So in a 5th grade class in a suburban neighborhood, they are basically at the cusp of adding technology into every room. So every room now has a projector hung from the ceiling. It has a camera which they can project anything that they might be able to put underneath it to the rest of the class. That could be a sheet of paper for the latest worksheet, or it could be a story, or it could be an object.
Wow.
Anything that you want to talk out to make it full size in front of the class so everybody can see. They are starting to introduce learning management systems, which are basically systems that allow an instructor to load all of the class materials into an online repository, so that in elementary schools the parents and the students would have access to it, that could see the students' grades, that could basically streamline the communication process between the school and the home. And things like that are all just kind of like coming together
Starting,
now.
not everywhere.
Not
but
everywhere. We still don't have in CCONC, a one-on-one program where every student has a computer device. They're still basically renting it from the library, rolling it down into the classroom, taking all the individual laptops out, putting them on the desk, powering them up. They're wasting a lot of time in that process,
They don't
unfortunately.
have the equipment.
Because they don't have the equipment. So they will use it sparingly because they have a lot that they have to do. There's tests you have to prep for. There are assignments you have to do. There's an awful lot of work that has to be done in the elementary school. So
some of those things you just mentioned we're going to come back to, but that gives us an overview of what more progressive schools are trying to do.
That's right.
They're not the most affluent schools who may have all this already, and they're not the poverty schools that have none of it, but you're showing us a trend.
Right.
Of course, we're not going to talk about it right now, but underneath the problem is who's going to pay for it.
Definitely.
Let's go to the high school.
Yep.
We have a few more minutes here, so before the break, could you describe?
Well, the high school is in the same kind of place, but the students are very much more capable. So are you familiar with the Universal Design of Learning, the UDL
No, I'm not.
process? Has just been growing for about 20 years. And the UDL is all about creating a curriculum that everyone can benefit from. And UDL always uses the example of the curb cut. The curb cut came out of the architectural
Curb cut,
program.
talking about
The cut in a curb side that
so
allows
that
a disabled person to go down to the
a
street.
wheelchair could go.
Right? It's
Okay.
essential for them to
Yes.
be able to be safe on the street. Well, it turns out that curb cut is also wonderful for mothers pushing carriages, children on bikes, people on rollerblades or
see.
roller skates. It's good for all.
Everybody.
Now, if you take that whole idea into learning, you are really going to try and create a curriculum that everybody can do. So it builds in variation and flexibility, which is very, very important because it also tries to hit multiple modes of representation and expression. So you're going to give somebody the ability who's text-based to be able to read something, somebody who's visually based to see something as a video or artwork or some sort of visuals. You're going to have something for the orally based, the people who really learn from hearing. Group work becomes very, very important, as well as now computer integration. If we can work all 5 or 6 of those elements together on a constant and evolving presentation where students can choose their best mode of learning for that particular assignment, then we're in really good shape.
This sounds wonderful. In fact, you probably wouldn't know this, but I used to do workshops around Massachusetts and Rhode Island on learning styles and
There you go.
personality styles. So you just dealt with that whole thing because people thought, individualizing, what do you mean? I can't do third. But there's a way for people to understand that and help children
Right.
with their learning strength. So that sounds very exciting. And then I can see where teachers could create off of all of that.
Very much so.
We need to go to a break, but when we come back, let's move to the college and university level, if you
Okay.
wouldn't mind. And before that even, how about students with disabilities? We'll
Okay.
talk about that, but we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Get your ass out. You're not sitting here.
Yes, I am.
Move. Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why are you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how.
Oh, you got...
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Tom, thank you for explaining before the break about how they are actually integrating technology. At least it's a start. And I'm wondering, how about students with disabilities, or as we like to say today, they're challenged in various ways. This technology, I hope technology is helping them.
Technology definitely is helping them because technology gives ability where there might not be some. The computer can do stuff which even the teacher can't.
Oh,
in
that's
terms
true.
of being able to execute a program. So in the case of a student with dyslexia, a computer can read the text independently for the students so they can still be responsible for it, which I think is also an important part of these things. We don't want to ever get a person basically addicted to our help. We want to create real independence. So the computer can help in all sorts of different ways. It can not only read to the student, it can also type for the student from their speech. There are all sorts of adaptive keyboards for the students who can't speak as well, and give them the ability to type at a with a different system really than the traditional keyboard. That gives them the ability to participate in the same activities that their classmates are.
That's
and that's
important.
really a very, very important part of this. We're not trying to create a separate education system for the disabled student. We want them to be fully immersed, and that's a real challenge. And we honestly don't have the budget to support having multiple special ed aides and teachers in the room at the same time. We need to create something which is going to basically allow us to do that with the technology. And the applications out there are amazing.
I've read a few of them, and it is incredible to see what years ago, actually, John Kerry, when he was our senator, came to a Foxborough cable station, and we brought on, my topic was about people who have learning needs, and a friend of mine brought her student on, and his board was simply, he pressed the button, my name is Mark Wojcicki. And by the way, I have to say this little parentheses, his money had run out. He didn't have money to buy whatever he needed for the board or an approved one. And John Kerry made it possible. I didn't know that till later, but my friend told me that, yeah. So there are a lot of people who care and are working like yourself. And now let's move up to the college and university level. Would you talk a little about technology?
Well, colleges and universities really have the best opportunity to truly integrate it, because they're usually operating with a higher goal in mind, and the people that are there are going to share that goal. And most colleges and universities are supported on a different level. They have a tuition model plus, state subsidies for the public universities and things like that, that would usually allow them to create the systems that are necessary to fully integrate this. So you mentioned before that people have phones, that they have iPads and laptops. They have to be able to get onto the network, the college network. So the colleges have to create a network which has universal access. So there's wireless access points everywhere. Those wireless access points are not only expensive to install, they're pretty expensive to manage. There's a big security question that has to go on. So they have to kind of like ramp it all the way up to provide a system to use all of this technology. And for the most part, they are the prime users of all of this kind of technology in their content areas. So they're going to use it to their best ability, and so typically they push it a little bit, and they get the best technology available to them that they can afford to get into the classrooms. At a place like New England Tech, we teach technology. In our campus and our main building, we have over 1,000 computers that the students use. They can just walk into the library, and there's one right there that has all of the technology available to them. I'm sure other colleges do the exact same thing. Our job at this point in time is to give the students what they need to do what they want.
Yes, yes.
We do have, obviously, a responsibility to disabled students as well, to support them and give the accommodations which are, necessary for them when it's necessary.
I just enjoy hearing you talk about mentioning what's available at New England Tech, because I'm so impressed with the variety of ways people can get their education today. I mentioned earlier off camera John Sprague from the Bristol County Bristol Community College. I live in Bristol County, so I'm making mistakes here, but also New England Tech, and here we are at Bridgewater State University. There are just so many ways for people to access information. And of course, you at your school know more about technology, I'm sure, than most of us. I remember when the computers first came out, the instructor said to all of us teachers, "This computer is only as smart as the people using it." And,
Still
you know,
true.
we thought it was, you know, the computer was going to be a magical something. But, you know, I got frightened recently. What's his name? Walter Isaacson, from the CEO of Aspen Institute, and he's written all these biographies about Jobs, Steve Jobs and others. But he said on a program I watched where he was being interviewed, he said, well, everyone should know coding. And I said, oh my goodness, I'll have to go back to school. This is how advanced it's gotten. People are saying everyone should know how to code. Now, here's my question.
He says that everybody should know how to code for the logical construct of it all, so you can know how it's put together. Not everybody wants the code.
Oh, I was going to say that sounds
we
like
should
a high
throw our line
expectation.
there.
Well, you're very involved, as you mentioned earlier, with the institutes that are helping teachers from all over New England to continue in their growth and learning. So tell me, how are teachers getting the help they need? If you could speak to that, to include technology with their curriculum.
Primarily, it has to happen at the institution. Just about every institution that I'm aware of has some sort of a resource available for faculty. They can come in, get one-on-one help, go to a training session with others, have the technology available to them so that they can practice it before they go into the classroom to try and use it. There are conferences, obviously, that they can go to, but the reality is that it has to start at home, you know, that home institution, so that they can really get comfortable with it. Because if you're new to technology, it's going to be quite a learning curve to get up. If you don't have the desire or the inclination to learn the technology, you will be very afraid of it. And if something goes wrong, you won't know how to fix it. So you need some time to really kind of like go through that and start slowly and start gradually increasing it as you get more and more comfortable and as you see how it truly integrates into your content. Technology is a tool. That's all it is. It's not, you know, the next best thing here to come along to education. We've had it for a long time. It needs a good teacher who understands how to use it.
Hear,
And
hear.
Hear, hear.
Yeah, the teacher is still primary. Thank you for
Still
saying
very
that.
primary.
Well, I'm sure that there are so many avenues now for teachers to get help. That's great. However, they're all under the pressure, pardon me, for raising their test scores. And there's still this controversy about how and why they're having them. Are they national, state, local? And Diane Ravitch, who's written a very famous book now, Death and Life of the Great American School System, she writes, emphasis on test scores is narrowing the curriculum and reduces time for the arts and other subjects. But still, the teachers are responsible. So my question is, are teachers finding that the technology is helping them raise scores? It's awful. I don't even like asking the question.
I don't think it is yet, because I don't think it's fully implemented yet. I mean, I don't think it's reached a critical mass where it's really making an impact. I think that can happen in time. I think we need to all continue working to find the magic sauce which puts that all together and, you know, gets teachers comfortable, it gets the students comfortable with it. Because even if a student can, you know, play a game on their iPhone or their iPad, it doesn't necessarily mean they are focused enough to gather the educational value out of a particular application on a computer. So, you know, there's a lot of things that still has to happen. Access is also a very important one. We have a far better chance of achieving that if students have that piece of technology with them all the time.
Again.
The economic divide is preventing that in a lot of places still.
Thank you. I was going to ask you about that. Do you think that, I mean, I know that there are children that don't have computers at home. They have to go to a public library to use them. Are we making a larger gap between the haves and have-nots with our emphasis on technology?
Well, at the same time as we're adding all of this, the technology is getting cheaper and cheaper.
That
Fortunately,
does help, yeah.
A Google Chromebook is $250. You know,
Well, $250
it's a lot of
to a
money,
lot
but
of
it's
people.
not $1,200 for
Yes,
you know, a full
yes.
desktop computer from a few years ago.
That's true, yes.
The new Barnes and Noble iPad, or tablet, excuse me, is now $179 or something like that. So things are getting easier. I'm hoping it's going to help reduce that divide.
We only have a few minutes left, but you know, there's been a lot of talk about celebrities being hacked, their computers and so forth, and they're talking now about something called double identification to secure. But I know that administrators and others like to collect data and they store it in the cloud. So I wonder, we only have about a minute and a half, 2 minutes left to explain the advantages, but in terms of privacy, what is the cloud and how, you know, what does it mean to people with the idea about privacy?
Well,
yeah, I'm trying to.
Yep. The cloud is the group of computers outside of this institution or outside of the home that are all connected, that we have access to through the internet. And that's all it is. It's just more computers, more storage out there,
So
not in here.
It's all there.
It's all there. It's out there. Okay. The Amazon cloud, for instance, is probably the largest computer network privately available. It is global. Okay. And when you throw something to the Amazon cloud, you are actually storing that information on multiple computers. It's all redundant. It's all backed up. It's all safe. Security is of prime importance to any of these cloud-based companies, and I'm sure Apple is reeling right at the moment with even the accusation that their iCloud got hacked. They're saying, as of this morning, that they weren't, that somebody actually used a very old-fashioned kind of like hunt and peck routine to actually break people's codes to get into it. So the industry wants privacy. They're going to work very, very hard to get that privacy and protect our information.
Well, thank you. It is a constantly growing and challenging road, isn't it? It's not
Always.
Something that gets just done.
It's never done.
Well, thank you so much, Tom Thibodeau,
It was a
for
pleasure.
coming to speak with me. I'm going to end with a quote from guess who? Bill Gates. He wrote, "Technology is just a tool," which I heard my guest say earlier. He said, in terms of getting kids working together and motivating them, the teacher is the most important, while valuing the educator, who would be central to using technology. That certainly is the view from here on School Talk.